Evening and welcome to the August 10th regular meeting of the Board of Trustees for the West Lafayette School Board. The first item on our agenda is special recognitions, and we're going to hear from the Special Education Department. So come on down. Glad you're here.
Good to be here. Today, we're just going to start by giving you a little bit of an update for special education. As you all know, as of June 30th, we are no longer a part of GLASS. That co-op has dissolved, and we are officially our own department within West Lafayette Schools. It's been a lot of work, and we're getting there. We're not 100% there, but I'll tell you, we are really progressing and feel like things are really hit the ground running, and feel pretty good about how things have shaped up for this year. So as just a reminder, I wanted to talk to you a little bit about the updates as far as staffing goes. We did hire 2 speech language pathologists. Casey Berkshire, if you recall, she was the one that I actually had Lafayette School Corporation GLASS interview for the speech position at the elementary school with the intention of hiring her at the beginning of this school year. That has been a seamless transition for her. We are also then still continuing to contract with Purdue, and that is Elizabeth Perkle. It is the same Elizabeth as before she got married, so it's still Elizabeth Aaron Drake, but she got married, so that's the same one. Again, smooth transition. She will be bringing over, at least this semester, she will have 5 clinicians that will be working with her in both the intermediate school and the junior senior high on speech and language needs. Chris Ham is our school psychologist. He has been our psychologist for several years through GLASS and was hired by us. He was excited to officially join the West Lafayette staff, so it's great to have him. Courtney Murtaugh, as many of you know, transitioned to a new position this year, and she is our student and family services specialist. So she will be helping run case conferences. Training has already been ongoing for her. We started in May and continue to do so as things kind of line up and go in different scenarios. So that transition has gone pretty well. Full-time secretary, as you recall, we had Holly Rankins doing a split duty between central office and my office, but housed in my office area. We actually, with the taking over of all the GLASS duties, it is going to be one full-time position, and we have a candidate that hopefully will be approved tonight for the secretarial position. And then lastly, we still have Karen Devine, which is our part-time secretary, and she does a lot of work to help support the teachers with some of the paperwork concepts, but is also going to be doing some backside stuff for us in special programs as well this year. We do continue to partner with Lafayette School Corporation. We will be using them for preschool, and I was a part of the hiring process for the new director there, which is Anna Ave. She's a name pretty familiar with the community. She's been around for a while. She actually served as a specialist here back in the day, but we've already started dialogue, and like I said, I was part of the hiring committee for that, and I really feel like she's going to do a great job with our students. Alternative programs for the high school are underway, and so we will be paying for those by seats. So as we need them, and for our students, we will pay for those. Related service, occupational therapist, we're still working out the details on all of that, so that is the one area that we are still finalizing. We do have our physical therapist, Shireen. She was our therapist last year in all 3 buildings. We have our DHH, deaf and hard of hearing, Ashley, who will be returning to us. And then our AAC is actually Christine. That was all solidified first thing this morning, so I apologize her name isn't on there, but it is all ones that have been assigned to West Lafayette schools in the past. We signed a contract to continue working with the Indiana School for the Blind and the visually impaired, and Debbie's going to be our teacher of record and supply us with those resources, such as we had large print books that we ordered for some of our visually impaired students, and helps them on a daily, and teachers actually with different things and accommodations that they can do in the classroom. So Special education programs, pretty similar as they have been in the past. We still have the 3 resource room teachers, 1 registered behavioral technician, and we do have 11 paraprofessionals now at the elementary school. The intermediate school, we do still have 2 resource room teachers. We have 1 essential skills teachers, 1 RBT, 8.5 paraprofessionals, and 2 essential skills paraprofessionals. And then at the junior senior high, we did have to increase our essential skills paras due to we have had a jump in that program this year. So we added another para position to help support those students, and those will be our high need students. But we do still have 4 resource room teachers, an essential skills teacher, and an RBT, as well as 13.5 paraprofessionals. We will continue with myself as the director. We added the full-time secretary, 1 part-time secretary, and then we continued to contract our BCBA, and that person oversees our registered behavioral technicians that we legally have to have. You will notice just a little bit of a difference in our special education data that we have. So last school year to this school year, you will notice, 1, a decline at the elementary school. That is absolutely normal because a lot of the kindergartners haven't been screened for speech or language concerns, and usually you have quite a few of them that come up throughout the year. We are starting our screeners later this week and then on into next week. We, at the intermediate school, we did grow by 11 students there. We also grew in the essential skills by 4 students, or 3 students, sorry, I apologize. And then the junior senior high has stayed about the same. So I anticipate those numbers will go up. We have some initials that are coming already down the chute for us. And then we also will have some speech and language that will be caught here in the next few weeks. Some highlights, we have 3 new special education teachers. 1 is Lily Matthews at the intermediate school, and if you can recall seeing her name maybe last year, she actually finished out the school year for us at the intermediate school. Paige Hensley is at the elementary school. Again, she's not a new face. She was a student teacher for Lauren Henshaw, one of our special education teachers at the elementary school. And then our new one is Cassie Lane, who's coming to us with 5 years of experience. Very excited about that hire, especially since it was a tad last minute for my liking. But she comes to us with 5 years of experience, and I think she's going to be a great fit at the elementary school. One of the other good highlights is we did have a special education department meeting, and I felt like it was actually the whole group this time with all of our SLPs and the related service providers, because typically Glass had their own. So it was nice to have us all together, all on the same board, and just kind of starting off the year, everyone going in the same direction. Again, the collaboration with Purdue and SLPs, we're actually going to even have a clinical student at the elementary school. I'm hoping Sarah knew about that, but if not, surprise. And lastly, I did receive the grant to continue Milo the robot, which has been pretty successful. We did add in the phonics program with that, which is not only in some of our resource rooms, but also in some kindergarten classrooms too.
Does the initial grant mean that you get another robot, or is that just a continuation of the same equipment?
Yeah, so they actually have discontinued the robot, which makes me really sad. Some people were a little disturbed by the robot, but I thought a lot of the kids really, really enjoyed it. So they aren't doing the robot anymore. I think it's a cost savings to them. So we still have our 2 robots. We actually sent our robot from the elementary school away, and they did a few fixes to it and sent it back. But the phonics part and will all be avatars that they can use, and it's very real-like as well. But then they can also mix in Milo as well. So. Mm-hmm.
Does anyone else have any questions? No? You are? Yeah.
Thank you very much for sharing the information. It's very helpful. And I just have a quick question. I remember we have two robots, right?
Correct.
Both of them are called Milo.
Milo.
Oh, yeah, I wonder, is that the factory name, or is there a way for us to call them different names?
Yeah, no, that is his factory name that they came up with. There were 4 different ones that you could choose from. We elected to have it be the same, just in case we needed one to float to the other school, just because our autistic kids, if something's a little different, that tends to throw them off. So we went with the same robot, and his name was Milo.
Okay, oh, can kids name the robots?
Can they?
Can kids name it, just like for a new year? They
Oh,
can
for
come
a
up
new
with
year?
a name
Well,
for the robots or something?
I don't know that would work very well with our autistic kids. I think they would call you out on that and tell you his name is Milo. Once they get something in their head, they're pretty rigid about it staying the same, and keeping the name the same. But it's something that I can certainly bring up to the teacher and see what she thinks, or actually both of them are she, but I'm guessing that the students are gonna want to keep it Milo, would be my guess.
Just curious.
Yeah.
Thank you. George?
Yeah, the slide you had with the numbers of kids who are on IEPs, is it statistically significant, the difference between the elementary and the middle school? Do you know what causes that, or is that just happenstance?
Yeah, so, well, it's a couple of reasons. One, the elementary school has more grade levels and more students, so they're going to have more. But you also have a lot of kids. I want to say we have almost 60 already that are speech and language only kids. And when I compare that to like the junior, senior high, they have 1. So as they're progressing in their speech and language, those IEPs tend to go away. So you see them drop a little bit at the intermediate level, and then a lot as they get into the junior, senior high. That is honestly the biggest component to that, is the language piece.
And then so on that same note, the slight increase between the intermediate and the junior senior high is probably attributable just to the fact that the junior senior high is double the population.
Correct, yes.
Anything else? Okay, super. Thank you so
Thank you very much. Have a good
Great
evening.
to see you. You too. All right, next up on our agenda is communication from the audience, and tonight Gail Charlotte has signed up to talk with us. Come on down. Welcome.
Thank you. Good evening. I was not asked to be here. I came here as a concerned citizen. My name is Gail Charlotte. I'm the parent of 2 successful West Lafayette High School graduates. Actually, they went through the whole system. I'm a taxpayer who resides in the West Lafayette Municipal Corporation Taxing District. I'm saying this because it leads into the first point that I'm going to make. I watched the YouTube stream of your work session of August 3rd, 2026. I noticed that 1 member spoke for the greatest amount of time. And while they had a lot of opinions, they did not know the person I'm going to be speaking about, but didn't have any facts because they did not know the person. Point number 1, the school board member said that it would be, quote, helpful to have someone like a teacher or a parent or someone who has a little more connection with our school than just someone who has had some connections with past administrations and has donated some money to our schools. So I'd like to see it opened up and others who can have a better representation of our schools, end quote. So I'll be talking about the West Lafayette School Board appointment for a member to the West Lafayette Library Board. First of all, the Altschafels, Al and Martha, donated not only some money, but enough to build and equip 2 classrooms, at least 2 classrooms at the high school. I'm sure the West Lafayette Schools Education Foundation would be saddened to hear a board member scoff about any donation to them. Also, most of this room and beyond have had a connection to previous administrations. It's a small community. So if this is your criteria for not appointing someone to the library board, you're going to have a very small pool of applicants. Second, by saying that someone, a teacher or a parent, has a little more connection to the schools than other people is an affront to the vast majority of people in your taxing district. People who do not have children in the schools and yet who overwhelmingly support the schools with their tax monies. I would be very careful not to alienate those people at a time that you are, by referendum, asking them to pay more taxes to support your schools. And to echo Mr. Lyle's questions, are there any problems or concerns with your current library board member? She's served faithfully and diligently for 8 years. I don't know if you even know what a library board member does. Can I just have a minute? But I'll tell you, it's even much like a school board member. I've been there, I've sat where you sat. It is looking at various budgets, what can be paid through them, building projects, all those things that took me and probably you over a year to get a grasp of. So be very careful when considering your answer to who would be qualified for this. And I'm just going to close by saying that I suggest that you think about this for at least the next 4 years. And remember that we, all of us, want to make this a successful school corporation.
Thank you very much. All right, the next item on the agenda is the consent agenda. May I have a motion, please? Okay, Deja.
I need to make a motion to remove the personnel report to be voted on separately, please.
Okay, got it. And then Lawrence, is your motion then to approve items 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 7?
Yeah.
Thank you.
But I need a second and then.
You need a
I'll
second.
second.
Thank you, George. All right, in that case, I will start the buttons to approve items 1 through 5 and 7. That passes 6-0, okay. And we'll return to the personnel report. Daisha, did you want to share?
Yes, I just need to abstain from that as I have a family member on the report.
Thank you. In that case, may I have a motion?
Number 6, personnel.
Yeah, we're returning to the personnel report.
Oh,
In that case, can I have a motion about the personnel report, please? To approve?
I'll second.
Okay, don't forget your microphone. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay. And we will do buttons. Okay, thank you. The next item is the interim board candidate nomination. There is no exhibit because we were all here. I will hear a motion. George, or I'm sorry, David?
I would like to nominate Melissa Prochnow for the interim position.
I will second.
Okay. And is there any discussion? George, I'm sorry, David, why am I doing that today?
Because I'm sitting right
Because you're
next to
sitting right here. It's been a long week and it's Monday. David, go ahead.
I think Melissa Prochnow is an excellent candidate. She has prior board experience, which will allow her to jump on right away.
Okay. Anyone else? Yue?
I appreciate both candidates for being willing to serve the school district and to share their expertise. But I also agree that Melissa will be ready for this position right
Okay.
away.
That is a very brief assignment, so being ready is good. Anyone else? Okay, in that case, I will start the buttons. Go ahead to approve Melissa. Who are we missing? We're missing Lawrence. There you go. And that passes 6-0. I would like to reiterate that we are extremely grateful for both candidates, and I have an interesting opportunity for Mr. Bigelow if he would like to get in touch. There's definitely lots of opportunity to serve this school district. The next item on the agenda is the junior senior high natatorium repairs. So we will go to Mrs. Roth.
Included in the board packet was information from Fanning Howie regarding the bidding process for these repairs and the final recommendation for Spencer Construction, acceptance of the base bid, its selected alternates, and issuance of a letter of intent directing the contractor to secure materials, labor, insurance, et cetera, pending the preparation of the standard AIA contract by Mr. John Becker. He finalized that for execution. That is what you are voting upon, but wanted to give you the chance to ask any questions or to better understand the project. So today with us here from Fanning Howie is Mr. Michael Rajinovich.
Radjenovic.
Very good. All right, go ahead, please. Do you have a presentation, or are we just asking you questions?
I am here to answer
Just questions.
If you guys want a brief overview of the project, provide that really quickly.
Sure, that sounds great. Let's do that.
So this project is to better support the south wall of the pool by making sure that that floor slab is connected to it, which was a deficiency that was discovered in the original construction. Primarily, and the secondary purpose of this upgrade is to stop water from condensing under the membrane of the roof because the hot saturated water from the pool is getting around those gaps and getting up underneath the membrane and condensing into water. We are here to solve two conditions.
Excellent. Any questions from board members? Lawrence, go ahead.
I look at the biddings, basically, hold on one moment, let me look at it. So bidding, we got several bids, and the price running from, the cost running from 717,000 to 1.3 million. So I'm just wondering, this is quite a big range, so I'm just wondering, are they beating the same, or they understand what our expectation, specification, that kind of thing?
Definitely. So we know that the material cost of the bids are going to be roughly equal between them. We see the difference in that being between the labor that they're putting to it and the equipment that they're using. And one of the things that gives us confidence in that number is that we had 4 bids received and we had 2 groupings. The 2 low numbers were within about $50,000 of each other, and the 2 high bids were within about $70,000. So we had 2 groupings up at that 1.3, 1.2 number, and 2 between 700.
So if I understand you correctly, so basically the price difference, because they're used their different equipment, different labor costs, so that's the major difference?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oftentimes, larger firms will have a higher overhead
Overhead,
rate,
overhead.
which will cause a higher
Cost.
price. Or sometimes it goes the other way and they have more people and then it's lower.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's usually something along those lines. Anyone else? Or do you have more,
Yeah,
Lawrence?
I
I'm
think
sorry.
that
go ahead.
there's another,
He's not used to me
question.
moving this fast, so.
yeah, another question. Basically, if I understand correctly, so the schedule right now, we are start from next March to May. We hope to finish that by the end of May or something, the major project. So my understanding, that time still, the school still in the operations, and we have kids, students, all kind of person, and you guys come in to work on that. So I saw there are some security check things, but other than that, do we have any protocols or standard procedures we can protect our student and staff? I mean, this can make that smoothly, though nothing wrong happens, so.
So it's kind of a 2-stage approach, right? We have the inside of the building and the outside of the building. And on the inside, There is the door on the west wall, I believe, of the natatorium going to the exterior that is going to be widened to allow for some of these construction activities. So the contractor will never need to use any doors that any student and staff are going to be using. And in addition to that, from what was communicated to us, the natatorium is going to be completely empty and only for the contractor, the work of the contractor for the duration of the project. And outside the building, in the parking lot, wherever they need to do storage, wherever they need to have their dumpster or staging area, we're gonna provide a physical barrier stopping anyone from coming in and out of that area that shouldn't be there.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, hopefully. The last question. So my understanding, we are going to demolish some part of that and then repair that. So my question is, during that working demolishing process, maybe we'll find some things we haven't identified before yet. So do we have any protocols? We get all the stakeholders, so-called the previous contractors, current contractor, and the architecture and schools, attorneys, everybody. We have some protocols, get everybody involved and document whatever. You see what I mean?
Yes, so we have a dedicated construction administrator in our office that is going to be on site no less than once a week. Anything the contractor discovers will be brought to our attention and distributed to the whole group to discuss and for awareness. And in addition to that, because of the unknown nature of what's under that concrete slab, in the bid, we included a $100,000 contingency to address any of those items that we just can't see because we don't have X-ray glasses.
Just a follow-up question, make sure I understand you correctly. So these 717,000 is already include some cushions in case something we haven't identified yet, and then we have some kind of cushions in case something happens, we can handle that. Is that right? Okay, thank you. I think that's all. Thank you, appreciate it.
George?
Just a couple things. One, I want to make sure I got your name right. What'd you say your first name was?
Mike?
Mike, okay.
That's the easy part.
Yeah, that is the easy part. And then Rajenovich, right?
Yes. Would you like me to spell it again?
I think I got it. Radjenvoovich.
No H.
Oh, no H, okay. And then, because this is work on a pool, are you going to have to drain it before?
Yes.
Okay, so that we don't have to worry about anything getting into the pool equipment. All right. And that won't cause any structural problems to the pool itself, will it?
No.
Okay.
No, we consider that. And we are going to be providing additional Visqueen barriers, just construction plastic, making sure that dust stays within the construction area.
All right, thanks.
Is that everything? Daisha, go ahead.
If I understood correctly, this issue appears to stem from the original construction. And so what are the next steps for kind of who's ultimately responsible for paying for this?
That is beyond the scope of our.
Oh, okay.
So
Dr.
we will
Gruner.
use, we previously communicated we would use remaining 2018 lease bonds. And so those funds are available up to the contingency amount and even a little bit beyond the contingency amount. But anything separate from that to resolve any mediation, that activity would occur separately from this.
Helpful, thank you.
Anyone else? Okay, so the question before us is whether or not to engage with Spencer Construction for the sum of $717,000. Can I have a motion, please?
Yeah, I can have a motion.
With your microphone, please.
Yeah, I would like to have a motion to approve this 717,000 bidding for this natatorium repair project. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Since no one else is doing it.
Okay. And any further discussion before we go on? Okay. There's the buttons. There we go. That's everyone. Okay, that passes 6-0. Thank you. You will not hurt anyone's feelings if you want to bug out because it's a long drive home.
Thank you all.
Thank you very much, Michael. All right. Next up, we have the AI update from Mrs. Roth. I'm sorry. Did I mess up? Oh, that was an accident. I said yes. That was a mistake. I meant yes. I
just wanted
just fumbled
I
on
saw
it.
that going out there, and
No, I'm a yes. Thank you for catching that. No, that was me having too many things to touch. Okay, go ahead, Mrs. Roth.
So this is not a voting item. This is just an update for information. We have started working with a consultant to plan an optional cohort experience for teachers to increase awareness of issues surrounding AI in schools, as well as to increase capacity for integrating AI appropriately and ethically in the classroom. This had envisioned to start in the summer, but thinking about the availability of teachers, we're looking at this fall with probably sending out more information to teachers in August and then starting the effort in September. And this would be done with funds graciously donated by SK Hynix.
Oh, terrific. And I wanted to note that we started looking into this as a result of the student who, well, in concert with the comment made by
It
a
worked out well. We
student.
were already looking at it, and then her comments just blend in with the need.
Right, so we do
Yep.
listen. Thank you. Okay, the next item, I'm sorry. Oh, Lawrence wants to say something. Go ahead.
I just quick question regarding this project. So you're saying, just to make sure I understand you correctly, you say we got some support from SK Hynix regarding this project. So how much do you think will be needed for this project?
It would depend upon the number of teachers wanting to participate, because we would want to offer stipend compensation for that additional time and
Oh, I
effort.
see. Okay. Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Daisha?
Will part of this discussion and input be considering a potential policy or guidelines? That was one of the students' concerns and questions.
So part of this would be getting to the idea of people saying, these are some things we would hope for in a policy or guideline, not to direct or develop the policy, but just, these are things that might be helpful. And it could be that, the current policy regarding academic dishonesty is sufficient. It could be that it's not, but that would be part of the discussion.
Perfect, thank you.
Anyone else? Great, okay. The next item is the consideration of hiring an employee under IC 20-26-5-11.2, paragraph C in the personnel report. We've all seen it. Could I have a motion, please? David?
Motion to approve.
Okay, and Lawrence seconds. Any discussion? Okay, I'm going to more carefully hit buttons this time. And that's 6. All right. There we go. Okay, the next item is policy A301, wireless communication devices. We decided together collaboratively that this would be the second reading. We made a couple of, oh, for heaven's sake, too many buttons, just one second. I made a couple of changes to the language that didn't really change the intent. May I have a motion, please?
I would like a motion to approve this policy A301, wireless communication devices. Thank
Great,
you.
thank you. Thank you, David. Is there any discussion on this one? Wonderful. All right, I will restart the vote. Moving to approve. Wow, 6-0, and that was a quick one. All right, thank you all. The next item on the agenda is number 10, the West Lafayette Library Board assignment, and we brought Mara to bring us handouts and talk to us about that.
Director of the library. Nice to see so many familiar faces because I know we've got lots of library users here. So I wanted to clarify a little bit, give you some more information about one of your duties, which is to appoint 2 library board members. We do have a reappointment that I did request for Ms. Martha Altschapel that does need to be worked through. You guys can decide what you want to do about that. She has been a board member at the Public Library for 8 years now. She's served 2 terms of service. We do have a term limit for library service, and that's a total of 16 years. So 1 appointment and then 3 renewals after that.
Which I misunderstood. Sorry about that.
That's okay. I understand why it's so funny because I prepared the document for you, and as I was preparing the document, I was thinking, probably so much of this sounds very familiar, but it's also a little bit different. So we have 7 board members, and they, no problem at all. So those 7 board members do very much the same work that you do on the library or on the school board. So as the library director, I figure and put together a budget, but then I present it to our board. I think our board does its best work when they listen to my lived experience as the library director and then ask questions and really get me to hone in on what it is that I'm doing. And ultimately, they are responsible for the finances of the library. My job is to advise them on that. They also set policy, but as the library director, I can put forth recommendations of needs that we see exist, do the work, and then present it for discussion for our board. So very, very similar to what I know you all get to do every day. The difference is that library board members are appointed. So you have 2 appointed board members, and I thought, they're both willing to come to any meeting. In fact, I would love to be able to regularly come maybe twice a year so that we can have conversations about the great work that I see reflected from your students and the parents of your students here in West Lafayette. If connection would really help to make this less of a burden for you to do these appointments, I think that's very, very easy to do. We did historically have those kinds of conversations, but they kind of, were a thing of the past. But I think it would be benefit all of us as folks that are focused on learning here in our community to have more of those shared conversations. So whatever that looks like in the packet of information that I gave you, my card is in there for a reason. So I'd love to answer any questions, concerns that you might have so that I can be the best guide for you as you're working on the appointment that does need to be completed.
Okay, any questions for Mara Honeywell? Go ahead, George.
Yeah, I do have a question.
Yeah,
Thanks for coming.
no problem.
We've met before, but we don't get to talk very often. I just want to know, how's the library doing?
So the library is waiting. We are waiting for those Purdue students to come back and flood everything. But, and that's a joking answer, but I know we all feel it, right? We all feel it. In fact, I think like right now, probably my kids are watching me on Star City News because they came into the library to talk about, oh, what happens the week or 2 weeks before students come back? And I was like, it's quiet. And then the next week it's not. But the library is facing many of the same issues that you're facing. We have such a wonderful Cadillac problem in West Lafayette, which is that
I actually went to a meeting today and people were talking about how their checkouts, their circulation are going down. And I quickly looked at our numbers and guess what? For how many years running, we have more people borrowing books. We have more people checking out DVDs. Our library of things we can hardly keep up with. We had almost 200,000 people through our doors last year. I'm expecting to top 200,000 this year. So we are busy. We have 5 full-time staff members. Like, I can't emphasize that enough. Your eyes, right? We have 5 full-time staff members. Why do we have 5 full-time staff members? Well, when you look at your budget, you know, we are working so hard for our community to do what our community deserves and demands. This is a community that absolutely blows me away every single day with the thirst for what public libraries and public education offer. So I could talk about libraries all day, but I know you have a lot more meeting. So we are great. But I'm a little tired. So I am definitely looking at what the next 5 years look like and how we continue to meet our community's needs. And it's a little bit unnerving would be the word that I would use today.
On a related note, and this is probably off the reservation a little bit as far as this meeting is concerned, but I'm looking at this map and the taxing district and the city limits are very different.
That's true.
If you have, I hope you have there been any efforts made to get the taxing district size increased?
So taxing districts are set, as I mentioned, at the point at which they are set. And the way to change those is that both boards, so both library boards, which would be the West Lafayette Public Library and the Tippecanoe County Public Library Board, both boards would have to agree to make that happen. So I have had conversations, and I think certainly education is a part of this as well. But in this era where we're all very nervous about what our finances look like, those are really challenging conversations. What the West Lafayette Public Library has decided to do since I think, well, most of you live in University Farms, so I'll say I looked up all of your addresses just to see. Your tax dollars go to the Tippecanoe County Public Library, but since the time when ground was broken on your home, the West Lafayette Public Library said, you know what? These are our people. So we've established that our service area is the city limits of West Lafayette.
Yeah, it's just fascinating that the city can pretty much unilaterally annex, but city services don't always come with it.
Yes, yeah. And that is, I do think, we're in, it's such a Cadillac problem. When I look at Amberley Village and University Farms, actually Amberley Village specifically, that community are some of our heaviest library users. They are checking out books. And one of the privileges that taxpayers, or, well, I guess people in the city of West Lafayette get, is that you have the opportunity to have books from our statewide library consortium. So if you look at your library card and it's green, there's a little green stamp on it, that's because you're part of Evergreen, Indiana. That means you have access to materials that can be ordered in throughout the state, and they arrive just like magic, in about a week. And so we think that access is really important when you have a library who our total materials budget is less than $100,000 a year, and we are keeping up with this community of readers. So it's a wonderful joy to get to serve this community, but it's a challenge. And I could talk for like a couple more days if you want.
I won't behold anybody else here to that.
You got my card.
All right, Yue, you had a question.
First of all, thank you very much for sharing the information. And second, I also want to take the opportunity to express my appreciation for all the work you have done with the limited resource, limited staff members. And I have 3 kids, in the past 18 years. my family have been using the library resource in so many ways.
So many ways.
Really, really, it's not only a place where you borrow books, right? So I can list a couple, many things like kids do music recitals there, and not only my kids, but many kids in the community. And so there's art display, and there are Lego days, right? Kids can go and build Legos for free. And so it's also like some clubs use your rooms for meetings, and my students actually also use a room for professional development for teachers. And so you have been so generous with the resource, and the staff members and volunteers, and have been always polite, helpful, and really, really appreciate everything you have done. And I also got to know new friends there when, I remember when I only had one kid and so eager to make friends for the kid. And we just went to the library and meet other people in the community, got to know each other. It's just wonderful. And also recently, my kids and I discovered the digital library too, right? So where you can access so many books and both audio and visual, and just amazing. And I'm surprised that you have so few staff members with the resource.
That's why you
have
keep
done
saying
so much.
again and
It's
again.
unbelievable. And so that's just, take this opportunity to show my appreciation. And so for this appointment, I have a quick question. I wonder what's a starting point for the appointment, and so now this month, or exactly, is there any a time we have to appoint a person starting from next month, or if there's a little bit delay, will that be okay for you, or what's the situation?
So it is hard for us to be down a board member. You know from your own situation that it's hard. We're currently down one board member. Oh, I should have mentioned this. The reason that we're down a board member is because Mark Pugh, who I'm assuming many of you know, he's a longtime educator. He was also, this is a guy who just sticks with it. He served 16 years on our library board, and he was treasurer for most of them, which is everyone's least favorite position, I think. And so he just recently finished off his term. He was appointed by the mayor. And so we are waiting for one reappointment. I have asked that you reappoint Ms. Altschafel. She has served really faithfully for 8 years. There is a 90-day period during which, after an appointment is there, that would need to be filled. And so my request would be that you would choose to just allow Martha to continue her service that she has already given to the library. But it's 90 days after the term is up that there's that time period for reappointment.
So during the 90 days, the current member will continue to serve until the new member come in? Is that how it works? Or?
It's very situational. So, for example, for Mark Pugh, because he is rolled off the board and he said 16 years is a long time, and he just really wanted to make his appropriate exit as any retirement you would. So that position is currently open, and that has not been replaced. I'm hoping that will be filled probably by next month. So.
Then for those who didn't reach the 16-year limit and before the new member or before the new appointment, either the continuation of the current one or somebody else, and the current member can continue to serve until the new one is appointed, right? So there should be no discontinuity for the board member until that time.
Sure.
Okay. Yeah, I appreciate that information. Oh, very last one. So I look at the map. I see you also mentioned people who don't live in your library district using your library heavily, but I wonder where can those people serve? Is there any other library board those people can serve on? It's just a kind of curiosity. I'm not.
Yeah, no, that's very fair. So the way that library boards are established by state law is, as I mentioned to you, the complicated piece about 2 appointments from the school district in which the library headquarters are located. And then the second piece of that is that the third school board appointment would come from the collaborative other school districts that are in that area that are served. So for us at West Lafayette Public Library, we only have one school district to choose from, which is Tippecanoe County School Corporation, because there's those 2 tiny corners that are from TSC. But in regards to how University Farms or Amberley Village could be a part of that, that would be something that would be determined by the Tippecanoe County Public Library. And those would be conversations with the Tippecanoe County Public Library.
Okay, so then those people in the dark blue area might be eligible to serve on the Tippecanoe Library Board. Is that how it works? Right?
Yes,
Oh,
yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
great. Yeah. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
That's all my question.
I believe, and don't quote me, but currently Lafayette School Corporation, I think you mentioned that they do appoint 2 board members to Tippecanoe County Public Library, and then Tippecanoe School Corporation appoints 1 member, is my understanding.
Okay, any other questions? Great, thank you.
All right.
Great to see you, appreciate it. So at this time, I would entertain a motion about our library board assignment. David?
I motion to approve the current nominee.
Martha? Okay, and George or Lawrence? George, okay. Great, any discussion? Yue?
Yeah, I don't know how to, I want to make a motion to postpone this vote. And should I say my reason for that, or should I
If
do
you'd
it
like.
later? Okay.
You-
Yeah,
Point of order.
Yep.
You have to make a motion and it has to be seconded. And if it is seconded, then there's time for discussion.
Okay,
Okay, yeah,
So
then I
motion to
motion to
postpone?
postpone this vote.
is there a second? Daisha? Okay, now you may explain your reasoning.
Okay, thanks. I propose to postpone it for, let's say, 3 reasons. And one is based on the legal feedback, the feedback from the attorney, is a procedure is recommended. And we currently don't have a procedure, so we don't have a way to solicit interest. And like what we discussed last time, ideally we should solicit interest. Everybody, including the current board members, are welcome to apply for the position. So just make it more transparent and engaging the process. And the second is after the work meeting, I also got some community feedback, and people also prefer to have that process set up and have the opportunity to apply. And the third reason is just as we, during the discussion, I clarified it's okay. Actually, we have the 90 days and the transition period, and so there will be no discontinuity for the work. And then seems to me it doesn't hurt to slow down a little bit, to have the process, and then it'll be clear that way.
Okay,
Thanks.
any further discussion on postponing? Daisha?
I also support having a clear and open process that gives all community members an opportunity to apply for the appointment. With Martha having 2 more terms, 8 more years of options, if she is interested in doing it, which it sounds like she is. I would hope that she would also apply, but I would like this to be something that the whole community has access to, not just a few.
Okay, George?
So does it not matter to either of you that the director of the library literally just stood up here and told us that she would really love the current nominee to be back on the board, and they really need this done?
May I just add a little bit too? And this is not about the person, it's just about the process. And I don't want this discussion to kind of switched to a person discussion. And I really appreciate Martha's service to the community, and I appreciate that she's willing to continue to do it. But I just feel a process will be helpful from now on. And since we identified the problem, we should fix it. Thanks.
Any further discussion? Daisha?
I also agree. I really appreciate her coming and clarifying. I mean, we had this discussion actually at the work session, and several board, I mean, a lot of board members that I heard from all agreed that we need to change this process, but the comment was, well, she has one more term, let's go ahead and just do it for one more. And so we've gotten more information tonight. I think it completely makes sense that it's helpful if you just have a board continue. I'm sure it takes a lot of time to train them and do everything, but I still think that that doesn't justify ignoring that we need a process and open it up to the community. And I do apologize that we'll add extra work. That's not their fault. That's the board's fault for not having a process before this. But that does not justify us just saying, okay, we'll approve it without having a clear process and opening it up to the entire community.
Anyone else? Lawrence?
Yeah, I just, I think probably we better just postpone that a little bit. Basically, from my point of view, I'm not, I don't know too much information about this candidate, and I really appreciate it. Thank you for Gail Scarlett to provide information regarding her support our schools to classroom. That kind of information that's totally new to me. So I really appreciate if we can get her short biographics and also statement of interest regarding this public service, so I can take a look and get a better understanding of this person, so I can make a well-informed decision. And it's also, I think this is part of our due diligence. We try to understand what we are voting for. Thank you.
David?
So I want to clarify from the work session that, yes, I do agree that we need a more complete process in future years, right? If we were to go back, tell this individual, pull back, solicit into the community, and then review everything, I find it highly unlikely that we're going to find somebody who has more experience than 8 years already doing the job, the endorsement of the library director, and time and commitment to doing this role. I think that we should put together some process for 2 years from now when the next position comes up to make sure that there is an opportunity for other people to have a voice. But I don't think that this board, in the way that we have functioned, can come up with a reasonable process that meets everybody's expectations within 90 days, given how other things have gone. I think that we have a candidate with substantial experience, more experience on that board than most of us have on this board, and the endorsement of the library director. So I think that we should move forward with this, and then as a group work to come up with a process in future years.
And I'll add that Mrs. Honeywell and I did begin to discuss that process when we talked about her coming this evening. So we have some ideas of how that's going to work, but you're correct, it will take longer than 30 days to come up with it and announce it, and then they're left in a situation where they don't have a board. Okay, so we'll go ahead and vote if no one else has anything left to say on whether or not to postpone. So to be clear, this is voting on postponement. Okay, that's 3-3, so that does not pass. In which case we move on to, or we move back to the appointment. And I need to hit buttons here. Hold on just a second. Okay, is there any further discussion about the appointment? Okay, so I'll go ahead and start the vote on that one. This is voting to appoint Mrs. Altschafel to the library board. Okay, that also does not pass. So next month, we will have a 7th board member, and we will not have ties. And so we will revisit it then. How that's going to go. Okay. The next item on the agenda is the superintendent's report. Dr. Greiner. Can I help you?
Do you want to say something?
That I could give all of you so that you would feel more confident in your vote. I know, certainly if Martha's happy to meet with any of you, if that's something that you want. I know you said it's not about the person, it's about the process. But I would like to at least know what I can.
March 3rd, was it an open call?
Okay, I'm gonna have to pull it back here. Let's talk after about that question. Okay, so the superintendent's report, Dr. Greiner.
I've turned on my microphone. All right. Thank you, Mrs. Austin. I want to begin by saying that we've had an amazing start to a new school year. And so I'd like to thank our principals, directors, teachers, and actually all of our staff for the tremendous amount of time, energy, and attention to detail that goes into making the opening of a new school year smooth, welcoming, and positive for our students and families. That is such an important time making sure that things start off smoothly. It kind of sets the tone for the year. So thank you to all of our staff for making that such an amazing start. I also want to thank our board members who were able to join us at our opening meeting. And if you weren't able to join us, I know you were with us in thought because you told me. Having you there at the meeting was meaningful to our staff, and we certainly appreciate your support. I want to move into talking just briefly about our referendum update. We talked about that with our staff during the open meeting too. Mrs. Roth and I are going to be meeting with Daler PR this week to discuss continued communication efforts as we move toward the November election. During August and early September, we will also be providing factual information to each parent council group at their parent council meetings. They've allowed us to come and speak so that hopefully many parents can come and we can provide information specifically about the referendum question and the proposed tax rate, similar to some of the facts that we provided at that opening staff meeting for our staff. I also want to provide a brief enrollment update per our board members' request as we begin the new school year. These are very preliminary numbers. Things are certainly changing as we speak. In fact, I think some numbers have changed since I put together this report. Our current numbers show that we have 2,311 students, with 601 at the elementary level, 569 at the intermediate school, and 1,141 at the junior senior high school. However, these are very preliminary numbers and they will likely change over the first couple of weeks as student rosters are finalized. Some of the most typical changes occur at the junior senior high school because it's a little harder to track down those students that are actually in the seats at the high school at this time when you go student by student, name by name, with what's in our system and who's arrived and or possibly going to another school. Our transfer enrollment is also still being finalized and changes daily, so we will provide the board with an official enrollment and transfer numbers following the October count day. Our current K through 6 class sizes remain healthy, ranging from 18 to 25 students. It's typical to past years, and our kindergarten enrollment remains significantly lower than previous years, so we're certainly watching that. We're at 121 students. Finally, I want to congratulate our band students and our directors for their hard work and for an outstanding performance at State Fair Band Day. Our students finished 15th, and they earned a spot again in the Sweet 16, which is a tremendous accomplishment. Directors Mr. Rhoda and Ms. Wenning also shared a particularly proud moment from Friday that had little to do with the competition and everything about character, so I'm excited to share this with you. Mr. Rhoda shared that after learning they had advanced to the finals, our students recognized that the band standing beside them had just learned they finished 17th. They missed the cut by 1. something that our own students experienced painfully last summer. So our student leaders and upperclassmen responded with remarkable maturity, helping their peers remain composed while allowing or offering genuine encouragement and empathy to those students who were hurting in that moment. Mr. Rhoda stated, "Moments like this remind us of the hidden curriculum of activities like marching band." And then he went on to share, "Our students demonstrated exactly what we hope young people learn through these experiences: humility, graciousness, empathy, and what it truly means to show Red Devil pride. We are so proud of our students." So I'd like to go on. I hope you felt his passion and Ms. Winning's passion. I'd like to personally add that we are proud of our students and we are proud of our directors, Mr. Rhoda and Ms. Winning. We appreciate the leadership that they're providing our young people. This concludes my report, and Mrs. Roth, if you would please report out on accounts payable and fund reports, and then we'll be happy to answer questions.
Certainly. Claims for the period of July 15th through August 4th, 2026 total $2,556,892.14. That amount does include both the corporation and the Wabash Valley education expenses. Salaries and benefits for the period totaled $1,485,340.28. A final fund report is included in the board packets for the month of June 2026. Total funds on hand amounted to $30,745,548.93, and the education fund balance specifically $9,502,691.46. The preliminary fund report for July is included in your board packet, but it has not yet been completed and reconciled.
Thank you. Any questions for Dr. Greiner or Mrs. Roth? Lawrence?
Yeah, I have just a couple of quick questions regarding the report. Yeah, I just forgot to ask the question regarding the policy, where these policy things. So I just want to confirm, we already get our principal's green light with those policies, right? The wireless communication policy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Our principal already okay with.
The policy that you just adopted?
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
we talked about that during our meeting just on Friday, so yes.
Okay, I forget to ask that question just to make sure. And another things regarding the K-5 classroom size. I heard some parents a little bit concerned regarding the class size. Would you mind to share how the school managed the class for those 3, 4, 5 specifically grades? That would be
Yes,
great. Thank you.
principals, as students are enrolled, they try to distribute accordingly, making sure that no class is over 25 students. If we get to a point where all sections are at 25, we start having serious conversation about whether or not we need to add an additional staff member. So those are being monitored. We are not there. We're anywhere from 18 to 25, and each section, still grade level section, still has room to add additional students and not be above 25 students. You're welcome.
Anyone else? Okay, great. Daisha, we'll start with you for your board report.
There was no community council, so I don't have a report.
Okay, thank you. UA, do you have a report?
No committee report, but I do appreciate a great start of the new year. And I attended the meeting at the beginning of the semester. I really like the web there, and it's lovely. And also I took my kids for the orientations, and it's very exciting. And I also noticed that the high school used a new format of class visits, and I feel that's a good reform. Then that way, still, because in the old ones we follow the bell schedule and can be confusing for some parents, and especially the building itself is kind of confusing. People will be late for different sessions, and some parents have trouble going to different classroom for multiple kids. Right now, basically, people have more flexibility to visit classrooms, and I think overall it's very helpful. And also, I appreciate that the school sent a feedback survey afterwards and asked parents about how they feel about the new arrangement. I really appreciate this kind of feedback solicitation, so to make everything works better for the families. I love that. Thank you.
Parks and Rec had quite a busy meeting. We went almost an hour. We had several research requests. One of the nice things, as I said before, about Parks and Rec is that it provides an opportunity for a connection with the university where graduate students and faculty are able to propose research studies, collecting sweat bees, all kinds of things like that. Also kids requesting lemonade stand, or permission for lemonade stands and many other things like that. We also had an update on the 5-year master plan, which is almost coming time to be renewed. Many, not all, of the things on the master plan have been completed. This was a very top-heavy master plan, with the biggest thing being Case and Family Park, and that took a lot of time and focus. But in the next year or so, we'll be starting up the next 5-year master plan, and we will be bringing things to the school board and to others to share out with the community, so that we can make sure that everybody is once again fully involved in the master plan. Because Parks and Rec is one of the things, in addition to the schools, that make this a great place, and the libraries, that make this a great place to live and learn.
You're getting good at that politics thing, Lawrence.
Okay, basically, our education foundation, our school's education foundation, so there's 2 reunions during the last month, the July. One is 1996 and 1986. So that's 30 years reunion, 40 years reunion, so that's good. And we have a class 1966 will be in town next week, so that's 60 years reunion. And September 18th, Friday, that will be our annual alumni tailgate parties, so anybody welcome to join. That's in Cumberland Park Pavilion. And they also appreciate all the people's donation support for their education foundations programs. And also this year's the 20 years of foundation. So there will be some 20th anniversaries activities coming. So they are planning on that. So that's for our education foundation. And for the foundation, public school foundation of Tippecanoe County, I joined their meeting August 4th. So there's some key issues with us. One is they have a new grant specifically established for student clubs. So it's called the Student Spark Grant, and the accept application start August 10th until September 10th. So any people from these schools can apply for that. That's a new grant. So, and the cupcake running will be September 20th. Morning time, which is Sunday. I forward Dave's concern regarding that Sunday maybe conflict with people's church time to them, so they can think about that. But so far, we have about more than 400 registrations. And totally, so far, they already get 14,000 sponsors donations. And specifically for Melissa, also their family set up a match fund. So whoever, dollar by dollar match, right? $1 dollar by dollar match fund. So that's coming. And another good news is SK Hynix donate another 50,000 to that foundation. So that's for 2026. So I'm thinking probably they don't forget us, I think. And what else? Oh yeah, I will serve. They have a grant reviewing committee for the grant of teacher for the grant for teachers. So I will serve in that committee. So pretty much that's all my report. And I also attended the opening days. I really appreciate Dr. Granner's speech, open remark. That's very nice. One thing I need before I finish, Dr. Granner, I just make sure. In terms of teachers, we are kind of fully staffed. The teachers and the bus drivers, pretty much everybody get.
We are fully staffed teacher-wise. I think bus drivers, there's a concern. It's not a concern. We are training one, so our transportation director is on the road quite a bit right now as well, while this training is occurring.
Good. Okay, thank you. That's all.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. George.
1 second.
Sorry. George is typing. I'll share that the meetings I attended were long enough ago that the information is out of date, and both of them are in the next week or two. So I'll have more next month. Go ahead.
I was chosen to serve on the ISBA's legislative committee, and they met in person at the end of July. We are still formulating the platform to come up with achievable goals to ask for help and support from the state legislature. When that platform is finished, I will let everybody know and I will share it, and hopefully we will all do our best to advocate it and very gently ask our state legislators to join our team and be in our corner, to use all the sports cliches. There was, there's going to be, I should say, a change in leadership in the Indiana House. The president pro tem in the Senate decided not to claim that seat again. And so there will be a new president pro tem in the Indiana Senate, which could change some dynamics of things, and that remains to be seen. There was also, and this, some of you may have seen this in the email blast that went out this morning, but there is a school district in Indiana that might have to take the extraordinary steps of eliminating all K-8 extracurricular activities and school bus service if they don't pass their referendum in the fall. So there's a lot riding on getting as much public support as we can come November.
That's a rural area where it would be very difficult for families to get their kids to school, which is a tragedy.
Yeah, George, I have a quick question regarding the legislations you have in that session. Do they have any proposals to modify this kind of SE, what's the name?
SEA1?
SEA1, there any some other ways to kind of relieve for the local government, this kind of really kind of.
So there have already been some legislators essentially asking for a do-over.
Okay.
And I think the original plan was to always look at the performance of it to see how it was doing a year after passing.
Okay.
The Department of Local Government Finance and the Indiana Legislative Agency, you know, they had an idea of what the impact of this was going to be. But, you know, with the clamoring of districts, so not as many as was once projected, but also the most ever in Indiana history, all asking for a referendum at once. And this isn't just affecting schools, it's also affecting
Yeah, pretty much.
Library.
local governments,
Everybody.
you know, fire protection districts, you know, police departments. And so there's going to be a rethink, but I don't know, and I can't guarantee that the rethink will go in our favor.
But at
Yeah, they
least
could
there's
always
somebody-
rethink it in the wrong
somebody
direction.
think about change something, you know, make something.
So, and the general consensus is that they're not going to go back on what they call property tax relief. They're not going to do that. They may change some calculations, but they're not going to take away the gist of it, because that is a political win for Mike Braun that he's not going to give.
Okay, thank you, appreciate it.
I appreciate the quick meeting. Tonight's my daughter's birthday. Our next meeting is Monday, September 14th at 5 o'clock if we need a work session, and 6 o'clock if we don't. And I will take a
Motion to
motion.
adjourn?
Thank you. All right. And I'll hit the buttons and we'll all say yes. Wonderful.